What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich here to talk some NBA prop plays over on PrizePicks for Thursday, March the 23rd. Small slate in the NBA today, but there are some good plays that I do like, so let's dive into those right now. For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money. The NBA props, no look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by PrizePicks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man.
All right, so you see on the board right now, there are 4 games, there are 4 picks, and some of these are a little risky. Starting off with Isaac Okoro up against the Brooklyn Nets tonight. He played Brooklyn last time. He did not score a single point, but that doesn't mean that you fade him because his fantasy score of 12.5 is pretty low. You see he's been averaging 13.2 over his last 5 games. He's a guy who's been, I think he's had a steal in like 8 of his last 9 games or 9 of his last 10 games. He can do things defensively. The issue for him is the shot going to come? I believe he's only taken 4 shots each of his last 2 games. So it's a little bit of a dicey play. But there is some payoff here. Brooklyn, not a very good team. Okoro is a guy who can easily put up points. He can hit a couple threes, get that done over there. And he can do some stuff defensively. He can easily get a couple of assists, a rebound here or there, and clear this 12.5 fantasy score. No problem. But again, bit of a riskier play. I do like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tonight up against the Clippers. Paul George is out already, so he's not expected to play. That should make his job to get assists even easier. He scored 31 on them just a few days ago, and he had 4 assists, so didn't quite hit that 35.5. It is juiced slightly to the over on the books, and I think he can get there tonight up against the Clippers, who, again, frankly, don't play very good defense, especially against point guards. Shai can definitely score on them as he did last time he faced them, and I think the assists will be easier to come by now that Paul George isn't going to be in the lineup. Najee Marshall's been on a complete hot streak. Everyone's been riding his points, rebounds, and assists, but they did bump it to 12.5, so now it's not quite as good. If you did want to take the points at 6.5, it is minus 130 to the over on the books up against Charlotte. We know how good they are, which could mean some extended bench run. He's been averaging 7.8 over the last 5, projected for 8.2 in this matchup. So I think that Marshall can definitely go over. Just depends on how much they need him, how much he shoots. That's really what it's going to come down to for me, but 6.5 is more than doable. He can easily hit 2 threes, maybe get a free throw here or there. Not going to play a ton of minutes, only, 20 per game. Maybe he can get to the 23, 24 range in this matchup. And then Jalen Brunson up against the Orlando Magic tonight. Yes, taking an under on his points is a little risky because he can score, but on the major sports books, this number is 23.5. On PrizePicks, it's 24.5. And as you see, it's only slightly juiced to the over at minus 120. Other books have similar numbers as well, 23.5 with minimal juice, slightly pushed to the over. So getting a whole point of value here is pretty solid for a guy who's only been averaging 23.2 over his last 5 and projected for 22. The Magic, again, they're pretty inept in a lot of different areas. Point guard isn't necessarily one of the worst ones. Brunson can definitely hit this number, but he hasn't been scoring at an extremely high rate, and especially after Julius just dropped, 60? At least 50. I think he might have even hit 60 in the Garden not too long ago. Maybe they continue to run through Julius. He should have no problem scoring against Orlando. So these are kind of the guys I'm looking at right now. Okoro, like I mentioned, bit of a riskier play. I do like Shai, Najee, and Brunson. If Brunson moves 23.5 though, don't take it. Just, it's not worth it. The value is gone at that point. But I think the other 2 are pretty good. So this is kind of what I'm looking at for tonight. And as always, if you tail, give PrizePicks hell, and if we fail, do not bail. Make sure to drop me a like and subscribe for all future content. But Isaac Okoro as the risky play over his fantasy score. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over his points and assists at 35.5. Najee Marshall over his points at 6.5. And Jalen Brunson under his points at 24.5. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.